よし、行くぜ!
Oh shit! Here we go.
What's good, anime enthusiasts? Welcome to yet the finale for season 2 of Mushoku Tensei. What a journey. We went through some downs in the beginning, came into some ups with the school art. I guess we got a little bit of a ways in the middle of the school arc to now the turning point to where now we go to the desert and we're getting a little bit high. And then unfortunately now we just immediately crash, as these 4 episodes are brutal to the people who are a bit more sensitive, not gonna lie. If you are, I'm pretty sure you probably cried at some point. And for some of us, like me, you probably got mad at a couple of characters and you just want to strangle them. I'm looking at you, Roxy.
Hi, it's me, the person who cried. Everything is so beautiful in these stretch of 4 episodes, dude.
Yeah, while I might have some gripes on the decisions that these characters made, it is written out to be so. Maybe the execution could be better, and I don't want to say they're like the reasoning is there, and I can see why. I guess internally I'm not that satisfied or sold on it. I'll still continue on with everybody. I'm still on the side of the bandwagon. I'm just not on it. I'm walking along. I'm here. Don't worry about me.
Dang, dude. I'm a little worried. What caught you out?
We'll get into it. But first and foremost, we need to thank our lovely people, the group, everybody who's commented thus far on the previous video. Thank you so much. Especially our new person that joins us, Two-Dangle. Jesus Christ, I cannot read for the life of me this morning. Two-Dangle, how are you? Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure for you stopping by. Yeah, I say thank you for the kind words, and I'm of the person that I am very harsh on myself, and I'm a bit of an unfortunate perfectionist that will never aspire to what I want to be. And I always say I always can be better, I always want to do better, and I'll just never try to be there. So just saying that we are doing great, that's fine by me, and I thank you.
Yeah, man. I didn't even think we'd get like one person to come listen to us ramble about anime, but we have like 5? That's kind of crazy. That's like a whole friend group.
Yeah, we just speak into the ether, and then whoever comes to this over little side of YouTube, hey, how you doing? We're here. Also, I see a lot of a lot talking about how much content was cut from the desert journey. I really can't say anything else other than it's just not a business decision, more of sacrifices they gotta make. Yeah, they could honestly, the desert journey could have been 2, 3, 4 episodes. I mean, the dungeon could have been like even 1 more or 2 more episodes. But I mean, we gotta finish the season at some point. And maybe, just maybe, they probably thought that if they added in more content with the desert and all these little intricate details, it might feel like, I hate to say this, filler. Especially at this time of where anime is going on, to where if it's not moving the plot along or there's not enough going on, these episodes will feel like filler. Not in the traditional sense of filler, to where if the anime is running along with the manga and the manga and the anime is like with the manga and the manga stopped on hiatus and needs to catch up, then the filler episodes are just really original things, ideas that the manga doesn't do. And so the animators and the storyboarders just make up something to fill the time in order for the manga to continue on, and then they adapt what the manga does. Nowadays, filler just is like a buzzword to use, saying like, oh, this episode doesn't really mean anything, it's filler, move on. When actually, no, it is adapted. It may not be original. There may be a lot of content cut from it, but it's still, from the source material. You can't really say it's not filler if it's actually referring back to the actual source material and the things that it's doing. I'm off my soapbox.
No, it's definitely interesting. I wonder how much of that content is actually less about establishing what we know about the other continents, like their danger levels, what kind of like environment it is, versus like what is narratively necessary. And I definitely see with all the emotional weight that goes into these back episodes, them sort of skimping out on some of those explorative elements and those world building touches. Because at the end of the day, I really do feel like this is a anime about humans, right? And the relationships with each other, right? Over an adventuring anime, which, considering my feedback from like the first core, I'm gonna have to like eat my own words, but I definitely see where you're coming from, or where the commenters are coming from.
If there's like a criticism to add with us now focusing on the slice of life aspect of it, and then this anime also having the adventuring aspect, it's pretty difficult for it to combine both and have the same particular details to it, if that makes sense. I'd argue that season 1 was more on the adventuring side. And yes, we had slice of life elements in there, but it was integrated and interwoven well. As you know, we are learning about the world itself, and as we're exploring everything. Now that we're older here in season 2, we're now going through internal conflicts with other people, and not so much like going different places and learning about new things. We're learning about other people, ourselves, and navigating those social encounters and structures. Unfortunately, the desert content that was cut is adventure, but that's not the focus of the season. We want to talk about the characters and the problems that they're facing, both internally, externally, and saving or fighting another person. That's pretty much it. You can disagree with me, that's fine, but that's kind of how I see it currently. I don't know what season 3 is going to do. I don't know if season 3 is going to go back to that adventuring concept, or they're going to try to really marry both of them.
I do wonder. No, I really don't know what season 3 is going to be about, which I guess is obvious, but we don't have like a really deep tie-in where it was like, oh, your parents are still gone and you got to find them at some point, and oh, there's like a magic school over there, right? It feels like we're out of that exploratory age, right? So even coming up on the end, I'm wondering, where do you go from here?
So we can talk about the end when we talk about episode 24, because it's very funny, and I'll tease it a little bit for you guys. It's very funny how season 2 ended, and it's like the perfect like tie to the knot, to where literally Mushoku Tensei could have ended at the end of season 2, and that's it. We don't need anything else. But like I said,
the same way. Yeah. We gotta.
We'll get
so
there.
many episodes to cover.
How do we get here? Well, episode 21, the magic circles of the 6th stratum. So, episode 21, it picks up. We get to see what happened to Roxy before she, did her last stand, while she was going through, like, making marks, trying to survive. And she's still perceived until her last moment. Then Rudeus appears before her. She didn't recognize Rudeus, and she was just still chill, even though he like sniffed her and whatnot. That doesn't matter. But when Rudeus realized, oh my god, Roxy doesn't know who I am. She doesn't recognize me. Am I grown up? Am I changed, like, physical appearance and everything? He just throws up. Of course, next scene is the party ferrying Roxy back to town. And after that, they give Roxy a few days to regain her strength. And they talk it out after that. And they catch up a bit during the meeting. And then afterwards, Geese is like, all right, let's buckle down. I want to tackle the labyrinth again in 3 days. And Roxy also gets to check out the teleporter book as well. As now we kind of like have 2 mages, we have 2 smart people, get them in on the same page. While Roxy is checking out the book, Rudeus is like pacing back and forth, and he's like signaling, hey, Roxy, ask me to help you. Hey, Roxy, talk to me. Like, brother, calm down. Let her be. But They get together, they go through the book. And the next scene after that is the party actually going through the labyrinth. And before they go to the labyrinth, and then during the labyrinth, you can see that Roxy is stealing glances at Rudeus. As you know, as you saw when she was rescued, she was blushing. And of course, if you remember, her little self-fulfilling prophecy is happening. As during a break, she cozies up with Rudeus. And through some dialogue, she asks him out on a dungeon date. And quite literally, I'm screaming at my screen. I'm screaming at my screen. Somebody tell her he's married. But nothing happens. As we get a little dungeon montage, they go into the dungeon, they're clearing the rooms, clearing enemies. After that, they head back to the town for a little shopping and rest montage. Rudeus and Roxy are hanging out. They have a little one-on-one at the tavern/bar as they're catching up. Roxy's growing and maturing, and so is Rudeus. After that, we get some more dungeon stuff, and they reach the final room with 3 teleport circles. And they begin to investigate it. They rack their brains around it, but nothing really comes of it. And while Rudeus is on the floor thinking, Paul comes over. He has a small chat with him. And then Paul instincts tell him, yeah, he ends here. But he also tells Rudeus, hey, I need to tell you something. I'll wait till we get to town. I don't want to mess up the party's morale. And then when he gets up, he shows him up, yeah, I got 2 swords. Because one used to be enough, but I just don't feel right without 2. You know, I'm attached to them both, but both of them have different roles. And then afterwards, after he goes off, Rudeus suddenly realizes that he's seen this room before, quote unquote, as he's relating it back to the ruins that Elenice and him went through in the teleporter to get to the desert continent. And he tells Geese, yo, look for a hidden staircase. They find a hidden staircase. They find a red teleportation circle. And the episode ends. Paul, my dear God, Roxy, Jesus Christ, you two cannot do this to me. Roxy, no, literally, I understand. Paul, yes, you don't want to tell Rudeus that, hey, yo, you can't be with Roxy. Well, you kind of can't be with Roxy because you got a wife. But hey, and he's signaling like man speak, father speak. Hey man, you can have 2 wives. Just realize both of them have different roles. And sometimes, you know, you don't feel right without them both. And I'm like, stop. And then just nobody, just even in mentioning Roxy, he's married. Stop.
Faithfully married at that, right? You know, I was thinking, oh, dang, Rudeus, you're really trying to keep that promise, huh? Right? Just for Paul to come out of nowhere, hit me with this truck and say, hey, bro, I got 2 swords. And ironically, I think this is the greatest, like, social subtlety that he's ever had so far, right? This actually feels like a mature Paul who can, like, talk to his son, right? And you see a lot more of that going into, like, the next couple episodes. It's really cool to see, actually. I think this is the most fatherly he's been.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he is now with Rudeus. He's fighting alongside his son, and he has been showing off, you know, trying to reconnect with him, make up for all that lost time that he's done. And he's very commendable, and I like that side of him. But come on, man. It's really showing like father like son. Like, I'm passing down the torch to you, son. If you want to do it, you have my permission. Because it's just like me. You're just like me, son. Although the circumstances are slightly different, you know. Hopefully Roxy doesn't have a baby at some point.
Oh my gosh. You monster.
But yeah, not really too much else happened here. It's mainly just Roxy really fulfilling her prophecy that she told herself, as she immediately fell in love with Rudeus. We can attribute it to like a oh god, I forgot what we called it before. The princess love scenario, to where you immediately fall in love with your rescuer because of the accolade that he just did, the rescuer just did. But it's not so much as that anymore, even though that immediately did happen. She really is actually falling in love with Rudeus, and the scene in the tavern really speaks to it. So, as they are kind of cool for each other, and it's still Rudeus is trying to have that master student relationship with Roxy, and it's like it's there, but Roxy doesn't see that anymore. So then there's that disconnect, and Rudeus isn't seeing that immediately, or I should say in this episode he isn't seeing it. You got nothing else?
Wait, I'm sorry. I thought we were going to the next episode.
Oh no! I'm just trying to make sure you got nothing else here, because like I said, yeah.
21 is just an action-packed episode. For me, it's like the stuff happens and there's not really much to like analyze, you know?
Yeah.
I could throw some more suspicions at Geese, right? But Geese doesn't do anything too suspicious here, I feel like.
No, I think at this point Geese is like the lovable henchman, best underling kind of guy, as he still keeps calling Rudeus boss, even in front of Paul. And what follows afterwards, that mention of boss really now like takes on a new connotation. But you mentioned this episode being action-packed. I disagree with you, because episode 22, now that's action-packed. Parents. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. There is not much to analyze here other than what happened in between the fights with the Hydra. Quite literally, they go through the teleportation circle. Well, they check their gear. Paul is telling them, what's up. And unfortunately, Paul is raising some death flags, but we don't worry about that. It doesn't matter. But they go through, they see the Hydra, they see Zenith and the crystal, and they're like, let's go to town. As Paul, he's not thinking about attacking so much. They're going through, they're fighting. Animation is crisp, beautiful, amazing. We get to see every single frame in action. It's nice, it's awesome. And then after that, after they break through, because, oh God, he's kind of immune, seemingly, to magic. And so, okay, my God, we gotta retreat. So the retreat. And then this is where the real meat, as Paul isn't really thinking straight, and he's flustered after seeing the goal in front of them, Zenith and the crystal. And Rudeus is calm. Unfortunately, Paul isn't really having it, because he's like, why are you calm? Shouldn't you be as like aggressive as I am? That's your mother. And then Rudeus internally is like, well, yeah, but I didn't really be with Zenith that much as you. And that kind of disconnect helps him, but it's also kind of telling on how much he cares about Zenith. I guess the closeness there and the attachment to Zenith. But eventually the fight does break. Thank you to Geese. And Elenice kind of consoles and like lessens Paul's worries, as Elenice says, yeah, I've seen someone in a similar situation as Zenith, and I can confirm that she's alive. And then Roxy gives the details. They're up against that Manatite Hydra, and the group starts to talk strategy on how to deal with it and how to properly damage it. And Rudeus gives the clue or hint from his own world of the Greek story of Hercules, and how you take off the head of the Hydra, you sear it with fire. And Geese is like, yeah, that could work. We could try that. And after that, Paul's calm enough and more stable in his mind to give a rousing final speech, even saying to Rudeus, I shouldn't be saying this as a parent, but save your mom, even if it kills you. So they go through the teleportation circle. Round 2 begins, and they go at it. And the plan is working. Yes, Paul cuts off the head. Rudeus hits it with a fireball to sear the wound. Head ain't coming back. It's amazing. Zenith is blocking, stabbing, trying to protect the group. Roxy is in the back doing some support, while Talon is also doing some action as well. Everybody has a part to play. It's amazing. And once they get down to the final head, it gets a bit dicey, because, Rudeus is getting a little too confident as things starts to get a little bit, worrisome, but it's okay. But unfortunately, Rudeus almost gets caught out but Paul kicks him away to save him from the attack. And Rudeus is able to land the final blow, killing the Manatite Hydra. And cool, everything's fine. Everybody's alive. Rudeus lost his arm. He's fine. Yo, Paul, we did it. Oh. Huh. Hey, Zenith's free. That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, it's good. You know, we can make it back to, you know, the end. Everything's fine, right? Nobody's saying anything. It's that walk of silence. But hey, look, Zenith, she's awake. What do you mean she can't speak properly? What do you mean her memory is nearly gone? And the episode ends.
Yo, it shoot me like 72 times, bro. What do you mean?
Bro,
okay, so I was blind to all the death flags. I was not expecting Paul to even remotely die anywhere in this season.
No, as so many times as they tease these red and death flags during this anime, I was on me. Like, during that interim to the fight, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Is Paul gonna die here? Like he's kind of saying it. And even like beforehand, it's like I think it was episode 21, it's like those are some final words that you're saying. And especially in episode 22, like the message, save your mom, even if it kills you. I'm like, hold on, Paul, what are you saying? And then in the fight, when Rudeus gets saved by Paul, and after that, we don't see Paul anymore after that. Paul, the guy who's like running forward, cutting up everything, like he should be in the forefront. Why aren't we seeing him after that? And when Rudeus gets confident, it's like, yes, we're doing great. And when when Rudeus gets rocked, I'm like, wait, hold on, nah, something's bad is gonna happen. Like the storytelling and the foreshadowing is already there in the action and the words. I just knew somebody ain't coming out.
I think it caught up to me after like a rewatch, right? Paul is in a perfect place. I can't believe I'm saying Paul is in a perfect place to die. So ironic. Where he meets up with his old party members, apologizes to them, tries to make amends with them, right? He has a good relationship with all of his family members, including Zenith, even though she's in the crystal. You really feel like his role is complete during this talk with the whole party, but specifically with Rudeus, where he says, I cannot set a good example for my son. I know you've been like awesome. I can't keep a cool head, right? This really does feel like, now that I know he's dead, the passing off of a torch, right? Where it's just like, you are like the gray rat name now. You are the last male in your family. And it's like, dang, dude. All the stuff I was blind to, because I was ready for a hype bite, man.
It was a hype fight. It's crazy too, because you did mention it. Paul's in a perfect place to die. Everything was set up. Paul's goal after the Mana disaster was to find his family. He found his family. He had Norm with him, and he started searching for everybody else. He got the info on where Zenith is. He found Rudeus. Well, Rudeus came to him. They both met each other. It's fine. Rudeus found Aisha and Lilia. Both of them went to Paul. Cool. Now we should go to Zenith. He knows where Zenith is. Goes over there. And at the same time, again, remember, after his fight with Rudeus, and especially after the Mana disaster, Paul hasn't really been trying, but he's been changing himself. But especially after Rudeus, that talk and fight with him, he's a changed man. He's trying to be better. He's trying to be there for his family. Trying to not be a failure of a father, but he still is. And after he attempts to go save Zenith, he does fail as he did anymore. Rudeus comes in, helps him out. And at the same time, while he's showing off to his son, he's giving his son his final message and send off with the two sword bit. He knows that he's a grandpa. He also makes amends with Elenice at that point. He apologizes to her on her knee, and Elenice forgives him. He's clear of that. I don't know about Tauhan, because we never get that. I assume that's some light novel off-screen stuff. So that's there. And now he knows that his son is in a good place. His son has a wife. Both of his daughters are in a safe place. And now that he sees Zenith, the goal, there, and he knows, or has the feeling that they're gonna win this, it doesn't matter what happens after that. Paul has now fulfilled his fatherly duties. He's made amends. Most likely doesn't have regrets anymore. And so he can die.
Yeah. I was okay, there are two things. First, at the end, they show them burning Paul's body. And this is where I need cultural notes, because like, dang, I wasn't expecting reincarnation or resurrection to be on the table, but I figured there would be like some sort of burial process or something like that. I would love to hear like the cliff notes on that specifically.
I guess I give some insight. Typically, I might be talking out of myself out of this, but typically with isekais and reincarnation, the world itself isn't set up for its own desins to reincarnate. It's more of reincarnation of other people being sent to the world. So if you're not native to the world, you're pretty much gone for good.
I see. And then I just want to add, looking back at Paul's final moments, I think he actually does smile. His face is shown upside down, but you still sort of get the sense that he was content at the end.
Oh yeah. Like when he sees that the Hydra is dead through his last little moments and eyes, he smiles. That's it. It's done. He can croak. I'm saying that so casually and evilly, but it, I feel for it.
No,
I feel for it because I was leaning back in my chair. I'm like, dang, I knew it was coming, but dang, that's really it. Wow.
I think. Okay. I think I've said all I can about Paul dying, bro. I'm sad about it. So I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. The actual fight itself. Paul is moving exactly like a scout from Attack on Titan during this. And it is beautiful, dude. Like, I sort of got that feeling when I saw his getup, like his adventuring getup, the first time at the start of this arc. And by God, if I thought this man could be just poured into a different anime, it would be Attack on Titan, and he would be number 3 right underneath Mikasa. He was moving so strong in this episode.
So I hate to do this to everyone that knows this reference I'm about to make, but this final fight scene is literally the last 2 episodes of Blue Lock Season 2. If you know,
Wait,
you know.
What?
Animation quality wise.
Ooh.
You get the reference I'm making?
I don't know. I don't actually.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay. It's fine. Well, I should say it's at the very last episode, but I'm not saying like Mushoku Tensei as a whole animation is like terrible and god awful. It's really nice, it's really amazing, but they really saved up like a lot for this fight. And most of the fights that we've seen in season 2 have been really short. Like Rudeus saving Sarah, he didn't really fight the thing, he just pulled her out and that was it. The fight against Linnea and Presena was pretty short, it was pretty cool, but Rudeus was like more powerful than them, so it's literally a stomp. The quote-unquote fight against the doll was kind of a stomp because Zenobia is god tier in its stats. Going against Bodyguardi, they just only made it a one-hit fight. That was pretty much it. Yes, all the animations were beautiful in it, but it's pretty short and simple. This episode was just a single fight, 2 rounds with multiple peoples back and forth. It wasn't a stomp. The Hydra was dangerous and menacing enough that the other party members had to use their brains and tactics to get through. Like quite literally, one hit could have ended them.
And you see that like a lot, right? I think in the first couple episodes when they were delving, I had this consistent question of, bro, what does Tall Hand do in this party animal? Right? And I think this is the first episode we actually see him cast anything or do anything adventuring wise. And I didn't realize it until I rewatched this fight specifically. He is constantly playing like this mage tank sort of deal, like blocking full Hydra heads from hitting Roxy and all that jazz. This guy is, I'm not gonna glaze him because he does sort of disappoint me.
He's the off tank.
It's like, Yeah. He has a role and he's playing it, right? And it still isn't enough. Dang, dude.
Yeah, it all may look cool, but I'm sorry. Log Horizon kind of takes the cake for me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We can't compare the goat of boss design in Lock Horizon to anything, bro.
Yeah, I know.
We'll give Mushoku Tensei a C plus, bro.
No. I know. I think this fight is. I would give if I really want to be generous. I could just fight an A. I could just fight C an A. Like we had it there. Oh, I think the one thing that kind of feels is, well, no, it's kind of interesting, I guess, in a bit to where we're days. It's like, oh, this whole story of my world, maybe it'll make sense in this world. Cool. I mean, they figured out how to get through the Manatite Hydrate's supposed magical immunity. Just need to be closer, and the head that they're targeting won't do the whole magic immune thing. That's cool. So that's pretty much it. Oh, and also, Rudeus doing the huge water shield against their breath attack, which he also did with the dragon at the way beginning of the anime. So everything is sort of coming full circle. Speaking of full circle.
Oh my god. Don't do it.
Episode 23. Let's go home. So JD, when I said let's go full circle, you remember what we were doing at episode 1 over Days was going through?
He was going through his depression arc after losing Eris for the first time. And now he lost Paul.
And his mother is pretty much a vegetable in her mind. Welcome to Depression Arc Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. So, the episode begins with MC. He himself actually reflecting on how his parents must have felt about him when he wasn't supposedly there, wasn't really caring. But now he feels sad knowing that this might have been how they felt, where now both Paul isn't there and mentally Zenith isn't there. And he himself is wondering, probably should have went to the funeral anyway. But coming back to Rudeus, he himself now is wondering and self-reflecting on himself. And he's kind of like talking to the spirit of Paul. And he himself is just going through these things. And later on, Roxy, oh god, comes in. And she herself is trying to cheer up Rudeus and console him. She keeps talking, and when she mentions that she's gone through what Rudeus has gone through, Rudeus counters like, what are you talking about? Your parents aren't dead. Don't pretend like you know what I'm going through. And Rudeus, goes off. He felt like he was getting a restart, and he felt like he was turning a blind eye to his family, and he's like making the same mistakes. And he's spiraling. He's going down. But Roxy hugs him. And she reminds him of her experience in the village. How she was saved by them. How Paul and Zena was like a second family to her. How Rudeus sort of changed her. And while Rudeus is still like down, she wants to share his sadness. He shouldn't share the entire burden. And it will hurt less if he does. Pass off the burden to Roxy. But Rudeus kind of is really having it, but he gets up, but Roxy pulls him back to the bed, and she takes full control. So they both wake up the next morning. Everything's kind of fine. Everything's cordial. They talk some more. And Rudeus, kind of seems fine. Yeah, I wonder why. After that, Rudeus heads over to Lydia and his mother. And now we know Zenith's memory is declared lost, and recovery, by Elamisa's account, is pretty much a lost cause. So Zenith is, as I said, kind of like a vegetable in the mental state, but physically, she's sort of healthy. Rudeus, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take care of you, Mom. But Lydia asserts herself, but again, it's like, hold on, Rudeus, what's your duty? My duty is to take care of Zenith. Follow your own. I got this. And after that, it's a montage of the party heading back across the desert and back to the ruins. At night in the desert, Roxy cozies up Rudeus and they begin to chat. Finally, Rudeus like, I'm sorry, Roxy, I'm married. And before that, Rudeus having mental battles like, I love Sylphie, but I also love Roxy. I can't be both of them. And then Roxy's like, yeah, I knew. Elenice told me after Paul died. Roxy, outright is just be honest saying, like, yeah, I took advantage of the situation. Rudeus, I love you. I've been in love with you ever since you saved me. How could I not be in love with you? And I know that, if Sylphie were here, she would have brought you back. I mean, Elenice and Tallhan, they were gonna leave you. They thought you would bounce back. But here's the thing. Sylphie isn't here. But I'm here. I love you. I thought I had to do it. I thought I could do this for you, to help you. So after that talk, the crew is then teleported over to the other side and they press on. Now it's time for another talk, this time with Elenice at night. And Elenice goes like, yo, Rudeus, marry Roxy. And I really mean marry Roxy. I don't want to see it like this. I want her to be happy. She just plans to step aside and I can't have that. You need to marry her. And Rudeus is like, yeah, I want Roxy to be happy too, but internally he's having a battle with himself because he's trying to be faithful. Look how that happened. And he can't really have another lover. But here's the thing that's being mentioned constantly. Like, are you a follower of Millis? No. Is Sylphie a follower of Millis? No. Then you're good. The faith of Millis is like, there's one wife and that husband is devoted to that person until the end of time. Okay. Very simple marriage, like marriage that we know of in our world. And Elenice mentions like, yo, Paul had 2 wives. Zenith wasn't miserable after he married Lilia, which was a shock to me. I didn't realize that Paul officially formally married Lilia, but that just makes sense with what we hear in the next episode and what Elise is telling us. And after that, Rudeus is like, okay, calls for Roxy. He musters up the words and the courage to ask for Roxy to be in his life as a second wife. And Roxy's like shocked and happy, but she's like, what about Sylphie? I was like, okay, ask me once again when you talk to Sylphie. Cool. And the episode ends. JD.
I freaked out. I was like screaming.
JD.
On the top of my lungs. Soren.
I wanna strangle Roxy so much, but I understand why.
I just didn't expect her to come on so strong, right? Or instantly, dude.
JD,
Like,
do you remember way back in season 1 where little kid Rudy was like, hey Roxy, you're cute, you're beautiful, I want to marry you, I think is what he said. And Roxy's like, oh yeah, that's cute. Try again when you're an adult.
Wait, oh my god, wait. I didn't remember that.
Everything comes full circle, my guy.
God.
And guess what? It does make sense for Roxy to like take advantage of Rudeus. Because again, remember when Paul and Zenith were doing their thing and Roxy was outside their door, she was feeling some type of way. So she's already had that triggered. And then remember the self-fulfilling prophecy. It happened. She fell in love. Hey, Rudeus, you're kind of down to the dumps. Let me work my magic. Make you happy. I don't care about Sylphie. She's not here. But hey, I can do what she can do. Jobs are good.
Okay. There's 2 things. Specifically about the scene at the campfire with Roxy and Rudeus. I think Roxy does. She goes out of her way to ensure that Rudeus doesn't feel bad about like cheating on his wife, right? She says, oh, I took advantage of you. I knew about your thing with Sylphie. Like, this isn't really on you, but I couldn't leave you like that, right? She's directly taking all the blame there. And I don't want that to be misconstrued to anybody as like any form of like malice, right? And I do think she has a sort of sly tone about it where it's like, oh, I was just taking advantage of you, right? But that's like the worst way you could phrase it possibly. I think she doesn't grant herself enough grace there, even though what she does is objectively, by our standards, fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. And it does help. It does help that they are not, well, we are now getting into we've been getting that context with Cliff because, he's devoted to Millis. And sort of now this faith and belief of marriage within the Millis, I guess, religion or belief is that one wife, one husband, full stop. And then everything else is like fair game. And when Elenice says, I know that you can love Sophie and Roxy equally. All right. If y'all listen, I do not like that saying. I understand that it is like a typical saying of, yes, you can love people, quote, equally, or you can love multiple people. I do not believe you can love two people equally. There are going to be differences. You will play favorites in one way or another. The idea is that in this moment, when I watched this episode, before I watched episode 24, I truly believe that I needed somebody, if this were to go through, to go off on Rudeus or Roxy, because we cannot be like so accepting of this. Not in a sense of like a polygamous thing. It's just a principle of, hey, Rudeus, you got a wife, you married her, you got the house, you're good to go. You are officially married without the constraints of like a marriage license, a certificate, or whatever. Again, this is also like the loose terminology of what a marriage is, but we got that. You are now married. Bring in somebody else. How do you marry a second person? Well, I just bring him into the house. Okay. So now the first wife now has to accept the fact that there is now another significant other within this relationship. So now we're no longer monogamous. We're now in a poly relationship, which can work out. There are records of it. There are things of it. I truly cannot believe that everyone can be so accepting that somebody is going to get jealous.
I think, personally, I have no like issue with this. I think the main issue with me is that they're making all these plans and talking about it before they get to Sophie first, right? Like, surely y'all can make it home to your actual wife before you like discuss this. You know what I mean? Going back to like the scene where Roxy takes control, I love that phrase actually. We see Rudeus is in the worst shape of his life. He's still wearing the same shirt he lost his arm in, right? Still bloodied and all that jazz. He has not cleaned up since the death of his father, right? He's just sitting there with the sword, looking kind of gaunt, feeling sorry for himself. I kind of want to know how many days it's been since then. I doubt this is like immediately after. Maybe it's been a day or two. But he is at his weakest form, right?
Yeah.
Which I guess is me excusing his lack of resistance. Like, I understand, and I do think the moment it's a weird mix between like objectively beautiful and also terrifying.
It's crazy. It's so crazy how if we just paint Roxy's hair red, isn't this almost a similar situation to what Eris did?
Oh my god.
Hey, guess what? They were both wearing the same white dress.
No, bro. I can't believe I'm saying this. I need to review all 3 sex scenes and compare them for character analysis. These anime reviews make me say crazy stuff, bro.
I'm choking my drink. Who said I need to review all 3 sex scenes? Only in Mushoku Tensei can you say that.
I'm saying, bro.
Okay, so yeah, We can. Okay, so yeah, it's the funny. I guess not the funny thing. Do you want to? I guess yeah. I guess we can lump Sarah into this point, right? Because Rude still is in the like depression arc when he's with Sarah, but that's more of a like for a different thing. And then of course he has his ED moment there, but I kind of want to say it's like a one-off kind of thing, but it is like in a vein to where he is depressed.
I think, ironically, I did want to compare this one to Sarah specifically, right? Only because Sarah, after the ED does happen, it sort of ruins the mood. She makes the excuse of, "Oh, you saved my love," so this felt kind of obligatory, right? And I wonder if A, that's common, and B, does Roxy sort of feel that times 100 due to her like relationship with Rudeus? You know what I mean? Because he did both. He saved her both as a person, and then he saved her life not too long ago, right?
I think we think about it in intent and purpose. So Sarah wants it because she was saved, and Rudeus is the one that is in control there. That's more of like a mutual thing there. In Roxy's case, she was told beforehand, so now she knows that information. But now I guess it's like a mixture of a lot of things for Roxy. It's more like, I love this guy. I now want to, do this with him. And especially so because, he goes up with me, he was cool with me, he accepted the dungeon date. But now also she realized he's depressed. And he's like, okay, his wife is not here. One of the only few things in his life that would help him out of the slump. But guess what? I'm here. We already had this previous relationship. And we don't know Roxy's like mental like reasoning and like a full like detailed her herself explaining it rather than her saying it to other people. That I'm pretty sure she's pulling back from the previous memories and experiences in Bruna Village and what Rudy has done to her, little Rudy has done to her, and how she was swayed by that. And now she gets to have this chance, and this is like her only chance to actually have this moment with him. Because when he goes back to Sylvie, his wife, Roxy's probably thinking, oh, he's not going to look at me the same way anymore. So now, while he's confused and struggling, I need to, this is my only chance, this is my only time. So let me do this. Go for it. It happens, succeeds. That moment of happiness is there. And of course, she lingers it on a little bit more in the night scene in the desert. And it's kind of hilarious at the same time afterwards once they both come out about it. And Rudeus is like, yo, okay, I guess just for the moment, while I'm still not with my wife at home, and he puts his hand on Roxy's hand, but Roxy takes it away like, no. It's over. Like, I've had my chance. It's happened. Let's just now stay apart.
Whew. And it's that like, what's the word for it? Not give and take, and it's not transactional either, right? I think Roxy fully recuses herself from any higher levels of affection after that because she knows that's not quote unquote like her place to be in. She's intruding on the relationship between Rudeus and Sophie, right? And I think that's what makes the campfire scene with Ellen Elise and the inevitable what's it called? Engagement? No. When Rudeus offers to marry Roxy, right? That's what makes it all the more painful because it's just like ping pong about who's hurt, Like you open yourself up, you get some more pain, go back, you try to like heal each other, but it's just not working. It's brutal. And going into the next episode, I was like terrified on like how this would end.
Well, I mean, I guess the ending is sort of okay. No, it is a happy ending. That's really at the end of episode 24. But beforehand, there's a lot of serious talk that needs to happen. So episode 24, Succession. The episode begins with the party returning to Rudeus' home. And Rudeus rushes because he remembers Man God's warning of, hey, you're gonna regret going to Beggar. And he's like, oh God, Sylvie's alone. That's right. Oh no, I left her alone. As he's rushing forward, he gets home and he's in a panic when nobody initially answers. But Aisha finds him and everyone is alive. Everyone is well. Everyone is safe. And Sylvie's there. She's got slightly longer hair and she's got a bump in her belly. Cool. Or I should say a big bump. And then afterwards, Norn arrives and everyone is in the living room. And we gotta have a talk. Rudeus breaks the news that Paul has met his end. And of course, Norn is shocked. Aisha keeps it in. Norn cries, realizing that after he asks a few questions and she sees Rudeus' missing arm, is that if that is all he could do, then no one else could have saved Paul. After that little heart-wrenching moment, Norn asks for Paul's sword. Rudeus agrees so, and Rudeus gives, his words, sounding like Paul. When you carry a sword, you need to keep a sword in your heart too. You can't protect what matters to you without mental discipline. And then a very beautiful and harrowing moment is that Zenith grabs the gauntlets, pulling it close to her, but she's still in her emotionless state. So it kind of feels like instinctively she recognizes and kind of knows that Paul is gone, or somebody that she knows is gone. Zenith will live in the house under the care of Lilia and Aisha, and Aisha also breaks down fully once she hugs Lilia. Rudeus sees off the rest of the party, and after that, Rudeus then tells Sylvie, yo, we need to talk, as Roxy kind of pulls up in the entryway. Round 2! Rudeus telling Aisha, Norn, and Sylvie, yo, I want to invite Roxy into our home as a second wife. And he gets a spiel on how Roxy saved him after Paul died. He's very open and honest about being unfaithful, full kowtow in front of, Sylvie. And Norn, thank you, goes off on Rudeus. And I don't care what any of you say, she is completely right in her own mind as she crashes out. And she even directs some of it towards Roxy. A little bit is, okay, you're crossing the line there. I'm sorry, flag on the play. But after that, Roxy agrees about being shameless and she begins to leave. But Rudeus, in his mind, going through, how do I save Roxy? How do I keep her? I don't want her to go. I love her. Sylvie, bless her, interjects. She admits that she was taken aback and jealous at first. But she understands what Roxy did and why she did it. Sylvie knew it was only a matter of time before Rudeus was going to bring another woman in, and she fully and wholeheartedly accepts Roxy. After that, it's like normal day, so to speak. Norn is taking up sword fighting. Sylvie is due in about a month, and Roxy formally wants to be the second wife once the baby is born. Speaking of, the baby is born, and Rudeus is able to hold her and cries over her. And the last scene is Rudeus at Paul's grave, pouring out a drink for him, having a simple conversation as if his father was there, telling what's been going on and how he's feeling. Self-reflection, some more from Rudeus. We now get to know the name of the child. It's Lucy Greyrat. And after that, he vows to protect what Paul left. The wind blows as he sort of feels the spirit of Paul. And after that, just a few little small scenes and shots of different characters as they're going through their life. And we end on the new Greyrat family, and the episode ends. Thank you, Norn, for saying the quiet part out loud.
I love Norn's role. I think she became like that new emotional center that we were talking about with Eris back in season 2, where she will say what is wrong and absolutely blow her stack and like let her emotions consume not only herself but everyone around her, right? And it's awesome.
She's saying what I've been like screaming at the screen for all this time. But I understand. Even though I don't agree with it. But I understand. With Sophie coming in, interjecting. It's God. It's so crazy that we just, oh yeah. You know how dirty Rudeus is. It was only a matter of time. Sophie, you can't, I guess, whatever. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. All of you love each other very much. It can work. It can happen. It's fine.
I thought the debrief between Sophie and Roxy actually caught me off guard. It was just, is Sophie too cool for this world?
It was so disarming, dude. I'm like, okay, you were jealous, yeah, and it's like, it was cool. It's fine. Like, I suppose you do care, but I guess, it's fine. It's okay. She's like, it's like this full unbridled trust. And it does make sense because Sylvie was there for the very beginning with Rudeus. I mean, also Roxy, but, Sylvie had more time with Rudeus and they had a happy life, happy marriage. Everything's cool, and Sylvie, I guess, did have an inkling that Rudeus was going to cheat, but Rudeus, as we know, wasn't going to do that in the first place. Wasn't attempting to do that in the first place.
Sophie, first of all, incredible insight into everything. I think she is the only person in the room who can have absolute empathy for Roxy's position. And her admitting that she would have also done the same thing Roxy did in that position is incredible and also true. I completely believe that.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen how she worked with the aphrodisiac. We've seen some of her more debased confessions with both the princess and Luke, right? These girls, they have gray rat fever or something.
Again, it sounds crazy, but when you look back at everything, it makes sense. It's connected. Yes, they are crazy. Yes, they are horny. Yes, they do love each other. But it's coming from a place of somewhat flawed, but reasonable takes in this world, in their own mind. Saying this through gritted teeth.
Let's see. Is there anything? For this one, I was completely just enraptured by the scenario itself. It's just a good episode. Like, it doesn't need very much explaining on why it's a good episode. Even in the back 3 minutes, the very last scene of the episode, where Rudeus goes to visit his father, right? Or the father's grave, and has that little monologue. It's the only talk he's had, not quote unquote only talk, but it's probably the talk he wish he had with his real dad back in the real world, Like, he wish he had paid attention, went to the funeral, like, worked it out, and he just understands now, You
know it's crazy? This is, I believe, the only talk that Rudeus has had with Paul where it's just them actually coming together just to have a chat. Everything else, I want to say, has had some kind of reasoning behind it. And there has been some kind of like, oh God, we're just there and there. And like, they're trying to do something. This is one to where, hey, let's have a drink.
And like the wind at the back to like signify that Paul is like pushing him forward, giving him his blessing. It was beautiful, dude. I cried here. If you didn't cry here, you're my op. That's just what I'm saying.
Hi, my name is Op.
Oh, okay. Mr. I'm too cool to cry over there.
It's not that's like I'm too cool to cry. It's like, you see this. I don't want to say I'm muted. Like I said, you see the stuff coming a mile away. It's okay. It's fine. I was still hung up on this whole marriage bit, but like I said, I may not agree with it, but I'll walk along with y'all. I'm here for it. I'll watch and see how it develops. I'm pretty sure Zenith also would have cried heavily if she was completely there with her memory.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt.
And it's so, they didn't. Well, no, they did really. Yeah, they really didn't have to put in that detail. But the detail that they put, where Zen just grabs the gauntlets and holds it together close to her chest, it's like, wait, are you telling me her memory's gonna come back or something? No, her memory's not there. But it's like this imprint to where, while you may not remember like fully, there's like, we all know, we always have that feeling, like something that's been so profound in our lives that no matter what happens to our memory, like as we get older, we lose some things. There's always this primal feeling like, oh, this means something to me, and I don't know what it is. But if this is something I should know, I should remember, but I can't. But I'm gonna hold on to this for whatever reason.
You know, it wasn't such a good touch there.
Oh yeah, and Norn taking up swordsmanship and just like, you know, following the footsteps of the father. And even Lilia, or I guess, I can't remember if Lilia or Sylvie said it, but yeah, I can understand why. And I was like, yeah, I know why too. Oh, but that is it for episode 24 and the end of season 2 for Mushoku Tensei. And like we alluded to in the beginning of this, if we didn't know season 3 was around, and if the people over Mushoku Tensei didn't want to, this is like the bow on the whole entire story, or like what story that we could have. Because what else is there after this? We have completed all of our objectives, right?
I'm not sure about that.
What objective are we missing, bud?
I saw a flash of red in the ending sequence.
Forgetting about that, but I hate how they did that, by the way.
The second I saw Eris's hair, I knew in my heart, or I already knew season 3 was out. I would have known in my heart at that moment that season 3 was out.
But
that it was coming.
Excluding the obvious red elephant in the room, we're clear. We found our family. Everybody's together. And I guess now our new objective is to just live.
It would have been a picture perfect ending.
Had we not seen the red demon.
Our glorious mad dog.
You think Eris is going to have sex and then be the third wife?
Dude, at this point, yes. Bro. It's going to happen. I don't know how, but it's going to happen.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. For all you light novel readers out there, I'm going to shoot you straight. Please tell me I'm wrong. Lucy is another reincarnated person.
Wait, what? Lucy?
Mm-hmm. Full circle,
The
remember?
Oh my god, wait.
Please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me I'm wrong. Don't let this call shot be like the one there. Please tell me I'm wrong. I don't want that child later on to be like, hey father, do you know Akihabara?
Father, why do you spend so much time with those model figures? Only losers do that. I had nowhere else to put this, bro. But I'm reading the comments on the last episode right now. And I gotta apologize to my boy Tall Hand. I was disrespecting him. Turns out, my goat, my legend, my myth, he is gay.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. I just didn't know if true or not. If he played for both sides or played for a single side, it's fine. It's sad that he doesn't get enough screen time, and it kind of sounds like it's one note or just like a very simple detail to there, which is why I put the idea of, yo, let's just get an OVA, like an anime original of Sophie, Elenice, and Ariel taking Talhan out to go get himself a mate. And now we can add in Roxy as well. So go at it.
Yeah, man, like the whole party is freaking. Surely one of those is like in the works on an OVA. That would be really fun.
Yeah, that's the end of season 2. I hate to put this on your spot, but how do you rate season 2?
8 out of 10. Not even a hard question. It was really good. Like, there was a weak point in Core 1, but Core 2 more than makes up for it. And the thing that I loved about Mushoku Tensei came back, and that is relationship interactions and emotional detailing. And this has that in spades.
Ooh, I'm in the same boat. I probably would have done a little points less, like 7.9 or 7.8. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And these last few episodes kind of pumped it back up into the 8-point range. Like you just said, there were several low points, questionable things. A lot of things have been glossed over that we kind of need answers on. While some things seem contrived, there's like questionable decisions, questionable actions. But we just have to wait, let it all come full circle. It still burns us in some areas here and there, but it was an enjoyable slice of life turn in this season.
The question then becomes, bro, is season 3 gonna be peak? I have high expectations now.
You know, that's the deal, right? Because we got like high, then we dip down, and so now our roller coaster has to go back up. You can't go down.
No, exactly, dude.
Oh, actually, I don't know if I can find this comment in time. Oh, right, they had a change of directors from season 1 to season 2, and the same director of season 1 is back for season 3. So maybe we're going back up on the roller coaster, baby.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be peak. I can feel it. I'm so happy, dude. And we'll finally be caught up to all you live viewers.
Yup. Will we officially caught up in 3 weeks? Because now we'll just do 3 episodes. So 1, 2, 3 will be next week. After that will be 4, 5, and 6. And then after that will be, I believe, if I go by the episode currently there, let's see, 7 is now, 8 will come out next week, 9 will come out the week after. So that's 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, I think we do 3 or 4 on the last one, and that way we'll be fully caught up with everybody. So I am excited to get it there. But with that being said, y'all, turn it over to y'all. Comment down below about anything that we have talked about so far, anything that we miss, things that you want to say, any more context you want to give on how other things have happened, how, Paul, rest in peace, went down. And who else do you think might die? Me? I'm still holding out on Ruger. That man dead in some way or fashion in my mind.
Firstly, please don't. And second, he's hanging out with the Demon King? I thought they had beef.
No, he's not hanging out with them. He's going back off on his own little adventure.
They were next to each other in the ending slides.
Yeah, but Demon King Bodyguard is like gone back to university while Ruger's back on the road. Yeah. But
Rudeus dies next season. I'm calling it.
Nah.
This time he dies for real.
Nah, he gotta go through the old man arc, He's gotta he himself now be a father. He's gotta go through the Paul shenanigans, We gotta fill up his full life.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full and short experience. I'm manifesting it. It's happening.
Yeah. With that being said, y'all, hope all of you have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. With that, we will catch y'all in season 3. Peace.
See y'all later.